We haven't started. ठीक है कर दे
Hello, mic check. Mic check.
Hello.
Mic check. Yeah, Dr. Lekhi, we will start in 5 minutes. Please be with us.
Oh, I understand. Thank you. I couldn't hear you.
Yes, you will start. We'll run the slides from here. Shidhar, please.
Don't worry. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. Fine, fine. Shidhar, पीछे पड़ता है. And Shidhar on. Start working. Mic check. Mic check. Shidhar, in no worries. So shall we start? Good morning, everyone. This is Dr. Mona Sharma, Organizing Secretary for the International Short-Term Training Program, which has gained its popularity as ISTTP-4, with a chosen topic on methods, modeling, data and tools of environmental conservation under Component 8, Enhancing Quality and Excellence, RUSA 2.0 scheme, and Commissionerate and the State Project Directorate, College Education, Government of Rajasthan, India, which is being organized by Rajarishi Government Autonomous College, Alwar, which is popularly known as RRC, and I'm signing in from this uniquely hall. On the behalf of our patron and principal, Professor Dr. Hukam Singh Ji, and from the organizing committee, I welcome you all to the 5th day of ISTTP-4. Giving encouragement to others is a most welcome gift, for the results of it are lifted to spirits in peace, effort, and hope for future. Sometimes challenges and struggles are exactly what we need in our lives. May you welcome every effort, every struggle, and every challenge. May you open your wings and fly. आप सभी का इंटरनेशनल शॉर्ट टर्म ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम के पांचवें दिन में बहुत बहुत स्वागत है आप सबका अभिनंदन। माँ सरस्वती ज्ञान और चेतना का प्रतिनिधित्व करती है, वह वेदों की जननी है। माँ सरस्वती को समस्त ज्ञान, साहित्य और संगीत और कला की देवी माना जाता है। माँ सरस्वती की आराधना करते हुए हम इस ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम की शुरुआत करते हैं। We are beginning the 5th day of ISTTP-4 by remembering Goddess Saraswati and worshiping her. Sheila, can you mute everyone because there are some sounds out? Please mute everyone. Thank you. A small and a fast recap from the 4th day of ISTTP-4. The first keynote speaker of yesterday was Professor Vasudev Gupta, who is working as associate professor in Delhi and Mohammed Planet now. He spoke about the use of nanomaterials in environmental conservation. After that, we had Dr. Lakshmikant Sharma, who is working as associate professor botany in Rajshahi Autonomous College, Jaipur, and he spoke very well on sustainability. After that, we had the most amazing speaker, that was Dr. Nishil Dharia. Dr. Dharia spoke about the risk assessment of environmental conservation. And we concluded the 4th day of ISTTP-4 by free forum and feedback, which was conducted by organizing secretary. Goal 4 of sustainable development. I spoke about poverty yesterday, but today I'm going to talk about quality education. There are so many educations are there amongst us. So I would like to raise a question. Is it possible to do the environmental conservation if we don't teach our future generation that you have only one earth? So conserve it. दिल्ली में पॉल्यूशन ज्यादा है तो चलो गांव की तरफ माइग्रेट करते हैं, या बॉम्बे में पॉल्यूशन बहुत ज्यादा है तो पर अगर अर्थ में पॉल्यूशन ज्यादा है तो हम कहाँ जाएंगे? Is there any other planet? So it's very, very important. It's amazingly important. It's fabulously important for us to educate our future generations that you have to conserve the earth, your mother nature. So college education, which is covered in rule number 4, that ensure that all girls and boys complete free, equitable, and quality and primary secondary education by 2030, and it should have the part of environmental education. Education enables upward socio-economic mobility and is a key to escaping poverty. Over the past decade, major progress was made towards increasing access to education, school enrollment rates at all levels, particularly for girls. Nevertheless, about 260 million children are still out of the school in 2018. Nearly 1/5 of the global population in that age group, and more than half of the children and adolescents worldwide are not meeting minimum proficiency standards. My dear friends, मैं आपसे अल्वर से बात कर रही हूँ, अल्वर राजस्थान का एक छोटा सा। May I tell you that in this state of Rajasthan, the women education or girl education is just 17%. That means 100 में से सिर्फ 17 महिलाएं young girls are educated. And that education doesn't mean that they are at the high positions. No, that is only the literacy. मतलब उनको लिखना आता है या पढ़ना आता है. So I have the question where I'm speaking from. In 2020, as the COVID-19 pandemic spread across the globe, a majority of countries announced a temporary closure of schools, impacting more than 91% of the students worldwide. The schools were closed for nearly 2 years. By April 2020, a close to 1.6 billion children entered out of school, and nearly 369 million children who rely on the school fees needed to come for other sources of daily nutrition. This is how I relate education to poverty, and yesterday we spoke about poverty, and today we are talking about education. So when the materials are not served in the knowledge schools are closed, where will those students go and look for something for them? Because they come very, very fast. Never so many children been out of school at the same time, disrupting learning and abandoned lives, especially the most vulnerable marginalized. The global pandemic has free-reaching consequences that make Juba dies hard and by makes way in improving. The main target of this was by 2030 to ensure that all girls and boys come free to organic and secondly, animation leading to relevant and more developing concepts. So, my dear friends, let's start educating people about conservation. And that's what I am glad was ISTTP-4 with the concept that at least if I'm even instigate something that people are 1% answers. What is the use of a fine house if I haven't got that? I'm going to your mother auntie so please, dear friends, say to me, a large carpet of fine metals or a spongy glass is more than the most luxurious, but a nation that destroys the soil distrusts. Forest unlocks from the land, purifying the air, giving flesh to पेड़ लगाए पेड़ मत काटिए हजारों बार सोचे एक पेड़ को so I welcome you all. Now it's not a pledge to the respected federation. I have a principal that with us, Professor. So I welcome you, sir, for a small address on your state is your Professor. So state is my class. Sir, आपका स्वागत है.
दुनिया की सबसे बड़ी भारत भारत की वीरभूमि राजस्थान और राजस्थान का सिंहद्वार महर्षि भर्तृहरि महर्षि आज तक संगीत सम्राट हरिवंश प्रख्यात महाराज हीरा नाम जी गणित नाम जी दुर्गा नाम विश्वविख्यात एल्बर्ट आइंस्टाइन दुनिया में सर्वाधिक लंबी पर्वत श्रृंखला अरावती की पद्मता में बसी अलवस है अलवर डिजाइनर्स कटे महाराज जैसे उदाहरण 1930 में उच्च शिक्षा के लिए उपहार स्वरूप भेंट किए गए अपने राज्य में राजऋषि महाविद्यालय में जुबली सभागार से मैं राजऋषि महाविद्यालय परिवार की ओर से ISTTP-4 एक दिन आई 5 बजे इस कार्यक्रम से ऑनलाइन और ऑफलाइन जुड़े हुए समस्त विद्वानों का सुधी जनों का विद्यार्थियों का हार्दिक स्वागत हार्दिक मुझे ज्ञात हुआ कि आज के तीनों के स्पीकर्स हमारे कक्षा विषय विशेष भारत से बात की समझता ISTTP का गिफ्ट आज सर्वाधिक रिच है तो तीनों विद्वान दुनिया के विविध देशों से संबंधित करें सर्वप्रथम डॉक्टर साहब प्रेम हरीश सर को मेरा प्रणाम कितना अच्छा मुझे लग रहा है क्योंकि अगस्त 2022 से पहले तक मैं चित्रों में और दूरभाष और वेब के जरिए आप लोगों के दर्शन करता लेकिन 12 से 14 अगस्त की अंतरराष्ट्रीय कॉन्फ्रेंस में आप लोगों ने आकर के बात की और कई दिन साथ अब मुझे ऐसा नहीं लगता है कि मतलब एक ही मलेशिया में या मलेशिया से हमें संबोधित करें आपका इसलिए प्यार जो हमें मिला वो आज हमें याद रखें सबसे पहले डॉक्टर प्रेम की मलेशिया मैं हार्दिक अभिनंदन करता हूँ हार्दिक स्वागत आप मेडिकल डॉक्टर के टीम में मलेशिया में आज आप अप्लाइड मेडिकल एंड एनवायरमेंट साइंस पर अपना जगह का सामने मैं उम्मीद करता हूं पर्यावरण विज्ञान में या पर्यावरण विज्ञान को संरक्षित करने के लिए विविध तरीकों आज हमें अवगत करेंगे और सभी दर्शक होगा इस कार्यक्रम आपके विचार मैं पुनः हमारे दूसरे आज के वक्ता विद्वान प्रोफेसर युवा प्रोफेसर और युवा प्रोफेसर के साथ साथ नेक इंसान मोहम्मद आसिफ साहब इथियोपिया से आप करेंगे। मोहम्मद आसिफ साहब का मतलब है दिल से शुक्रिया उनका स्वागत करता हूँ। आप भी बारह कॉन्फ्रेंस में हमारे मदद आए थे और 3-4 दिन जैसा कि हमारी सीमाओं के अनुसार जो भी हमारे आप लोग क्या आवाज करें जो भी कुछ किया संतुष्टि जाए करती ये हमारे लिए बड़ी बात है। ऐसे ही प्रोफेसर मोहम्मद आसिफ साहब पहले दिन से स्वागत करता हूँ और सलाम करता हूँ। प्रोफेसर साहब जो कि मैंने आपको देखा है बिल्कुल युवा है और बहुत कुछ आपको आपसे बड़ा होने के नाते आप पहला काम किया बहुत आनंद और आप लगातार चढ़ने लगेगी ऐसी उम्मीद करता हूँ। आप आज environmental conservation and business sustainability पर अपना व्याख्यान प्रस्तुत करेंगे और बिल्कुल सीधी सी बात है कि हम पर्यावरण कंजर्वेशन की बात कर रहे हैं करते हैं लेकिन उस कंजर्वेशन के लिए बहुत सारी चीजों की आवश्यकता है। ऐसे ही मानव को उसकी आवश्यकताएं मिली और पूरी मेरी आवश्यकता है पर्यावरण जिस पर हम बात करते हैं। तो पर्यावरण कंजर्वेशन के लिए पर्यावरण कंजर्वेशन के लिए ये बहुत जरूरी है कि उसकी जो अन्य आवश्यकताएं हैं संसाधन वो होंगे आपके पास तो कंजर्वेशन करो। केवल जमानी खर्च से कुछ नहीं उसके लिए आपको संसाधन संसाधन के लिए आवश्यक और धन के लिए व्यापार चाहिए। तो जब तक समाज में सतत विकास नहीं होता वो ठीक ईमानदारी उसका सत्ता बिजनेस सतत विकास का जो बात है वो बात सही। आज ये तीसरे हमारे विद्वान प्रोफेसर ने मैं भी दोनों आप फिलीपींस डॉक्टर मैरी जोन्स पेरिस लॉ जी का बैंक महानगर अनुवर्तन से राजस्थान इंडिया की ओर से हार्दिक स्वागत करता हूँ। हार्दिक और उम्मीद करता हूँ कि आप पर्याप्त ये विविध मतलब tools आयामक अपना साथ करें जिससे इस कॉन्फ्रेंस से जुड़े इस फॉलो लाभ बोला है मैं इस मंच से जो भी इस फैक्टर से जुड़े सभी विद्वानों एक बार से आज तक भी जितने भी हमारे योग स्पीकर्स पर्सन्स और आज तक और मालूम है डॉक्टर बेटी साहब मालूम है और आसिफ साहब और मालूम है मैडम साहब आप सभी आपका स्वागत हार्दिक अभिनंदन जय हिंद जय भारत।
Thank you so much for your presentation and for your always supporting us to do better. And I'm really pleased and I'm lucky that we are working under your amazing leadership. And we appreciate your presence, and I can tell you that without you, this training program would have never been. So thank you so much for being with us. Now, without doing anything today, I would like to introduce to you our speaker for today, Dr. Prem Lekhi. Dr. Lekhi is currently working as a doctor at the SSI ING program, Malaysia. He's also a member of Doctors 19,000. He has been recipient of awards like Asian Leadership Award, Vishish Chikitsak Award for the Medical Professional Community Service, Outstanding Award for Social Change, and so many things. Dr. Lekhi, there is a long list, but मुझे आपके सिर्फ एक बार बताने जब भी मैं आपके बारे में सोचती हूँ आपके बारे में सिर्फ एक चीज ध्यान रखती हूँ छोटा सा एक बॉक्स जिसमें आप हिंदुस्तान की मिट्टी अपने फादर के लिए कैरी करके लेके जाते हैं. So this is how you are in touch with the ground, and being the medical doctor, you are like you are determined to serve humanity You have got a very kind and peaceful heart. And with this, this is what I know most about Dr. Leakey. And so, without taking much time, I would like to call upon Dr. Leakey for his kind revelation. So, stage is all yours, Dr. Leakey. So, deliberation now. स्वागत अभिनंदन बिना डॉक्टर लेखी
नमस्ते भारत।
भारत
नमस्ते मेरे भाइयों और बहनों। नमस्ते प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर हुकम सिंह जी, प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर ममता शर्मा जी। And it is always an honor, privilege, an opportunity to be with you even thousands of miles away. So I love Rajasthan, Alwar, your campus RRC. I was there and I really feel at home when I'm around you. Thank you for the honor, especially देश की मिट्टी की बात आपने की, so definitely it's a very emotional thing to hear. Thank you. मेरे अपने पिताजी ने आपको सबको धन्यवाद बोला है जो पगड़ी आपने मेरे सिर पर डाली, उसके लिए कहते हैं इससे बड़ा कोई ऑनर नहीं होता जिंदगी में. Now coming back to this training program, I mean all of you, it just so happens that this international short-term training program that is under the roots of the campus of RRC. Today's topic is methods and modeling and data and tools of environmental conservation. So I want to bring to your attention something. What is happening now in this world? And as she mentioned, since Mamtaji is from Delhi, and there's very big news here in the papers also about the Delhi smog. Very soon there's going to be COP27 in Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt, which I'm involved. And in New York Times have written something about there because this is the topic of environmental toxicology, environmental conservation, that we can't breathe. So it's not New Delhi, it is New York also. It is every part of the world is now under a smog, as they call it. So we are in big trouble. So this topic that we are going to discuss today is definitely something, if we ignore now, you and me are going to pay a very high price. Very beautifully written in your own brochure, which I was reading. We can sit back, do nothing, and watch our planet be destroyed. We can take action, become advocates, and start making lifestyle choices which are kinder to people and the planet, because we are temporary on Earth, and this is the legacy we can leave for the next generation. So in our current time, our planet is facing severe environmental crisis, as you can see, from all parts of the world. From all parts of the world join you in this online program.
Shall we share our slides, Dr. Leakey?
Yes, please.
Please share the slides. So you just tell us when to go. Share the slides.
Please keep on moving. Yes. Start with the first one, please. Thank you. Wonderful. So the program is definition and the classification and the examples of the models for the environmental system. Go to the front page, the first page. So this is very important because there are a lot of systems now. So this is an environmental model during the toxicology and the conservation programs. A system, an arrangement of separable biological, physical, or chemical components, as well as social and economic components that interact with each other as part of the Earth environment. So the examples of the environmental systems include the atmosphere, the oceans, the plants and animals, and all the catchments. So many problems currently being observed in environmental systems. The potential for the global warming, we are looking at 1.5 degrees centigrade rise now. due to the effects of the industrialization. As we all know, the post-COVID program now, the economies and the factories, they want to go back to work, and so we have to pay the price for that because there's a lot of fossil fuel burning. So increasing the salinization of land and water systems and the extinction of many species. Models of the environmental systems have been developed for a broad range of applications and environmental issues. Next slide, please.
Next.
So I'll keep on speaking now. So environmental systems are generally characterized, thank you, by the four main features. The environmental systems generally depend on a complex nonlinear interactions. The main forcing variables or states of environmental systems are related to the climate, the topography, the soil types, the population density. Since you are in Rajasthan, so you can understand this, the heat, the humidity, the soil. So all these are extremely heterogeneous, varying over fairly small temporal and spatial scales. The characteristic temporal and spatial scales of a environmental system are incompatible, meaning that there are challenges for combining model and different system components. The many environmental systems are inaccessible. Their processes are unobservable. For example, groundwater behavior cannot be observed directly. So this is a challenging topic. This is a challenging work to do. Environmental modeling is not easy. It is done by different countries in different ways, depending on your situation. Next, please. So the three main types of models that are used are the empirical, the conceptual, and the process-based models. So these model types differ in complexity. Are considered to be the most simple model type, the empirical model, describes the aggregate process commonly used in the ecological modeling to measure population of biodiversity. Can you the next slide, please? So the conceptual models are considered to have a complexity between these two model types used for different environmental systems. So bear with me, there will be no pictures. This is a subject not easy to understand. So the process-based models being the most complex models generally containing a large number of spatially distributed parameters. The next will just can enjoy the picture because it is too difficult to understand. I don't see the next slide. Thank you. All right, this has already been covered. Yes. So there's a conceptual model development, scenario generation and simulation. There's a critical analysis of the model uncertainty. So they will be having three layers, and it's a saturated and unsaturated flow. There's a time series, dynamic. A lot of mathematics is involved. You'll be very surprised in this study because we're talking about Earth, as we say, Mother Earth. Time series, there's a topography, there's a hydrology. I'll not get into details of this because it is not easy to grasp for first timers especially. We'll go further to make it more easier so that you enjoy a remaining topic. Can you please go further? So the common features of the environmental system covers a myriad of possible systems and processes, including land, ocean, and atmospheric-based systems, which is common to all the environmental systems, regardless of whether they're physical, biological, or chemical in nature. Can you put the next slide, please? So the complex nonlinear interaction, the environmental system generally consists of complex nonlinear interactions, driven by the interaction of the physical, chemical, biological, social, and economic processes. There's a lot of integration. So there's a heterogeneity of system features. Important characteristics of environmental systems vary both spatially and temporally over a variety of scales. So the environmental system may be extremely small, as in the case of ecological systems, but for larger systems like found in the ocean or groundwater process, in the order of hundreds of thousands of kilometers, So in these cases, the heterogeneous features are difficult, even impossible to characterize with the limited observational data that are available. So even the research and the researchers, they agree that it's a subject for the faint-hearted, as you call it, not easy to map the world, not easy to make a model of the environment and the situation which is getting out of hand for all of us has to be challenged. So scientists and researchers are doing some very good work around the world. So this is just a small, comprehensive attempt to show and continue to grasp. So can you go to the next slide, please? Incompatible skills. So the topic itself, you can see the head uh, is self-revealing. The characteristic temporal, the spatial scales of different features of most environmental systems, they vary, making it difficult to create truly general environmental systems. Now, for example, this will be making it very clear now. The system responds to a rainfall event in a surface water system, such as a river or a stream. It's quite rare in Rajasthan, as we see it's dry and you want rain all the time. Uh, where we have camels, the stream may occur over hours or days, which the response of the groundwater system to this recharge event may occur over a couple of years, even though these two systems are linked. So you will have flooding and you will have droughts in the same place, different time of the year, as we see around the world. The next slide, please. This is inaccessible or unobservable system processes. So the important processes or features of environmental systems are often inaccessible or unobservable. See, from the surface, it's very difficult to even understand the earth crust, depth of the ocean, and anything that goes in between. So this may be because the scale of component processes is very large or very small. Yes, thank you. Okay. Uh, so as a case in many oceanic systems which may cover thousands of square kilometers, or maybe because of other difficulties in obtaining measurements or physical observation of system processes, such as the case with many groundwater systems. See, the government of India is also trying to figure out how to get the best for Rajasthan, since we are now here in Alwar, and there's a lot to be done from the environmental angle. So they are talking about the hydrological, ecological, and the climatic categories of the system. So this is the types of environmental system. This is the next one, please. In fact, the next to next. So I am now on the hydrological system, uh, consisting of a number of individual systems, including the surface water, surface. Next slide, hydrological and coastal system. You must be all very aware, since you are in India, that we have a very big coastal line, and these systems are not entirely dependent on one another. And there are different seasons, there are different climates, topography, uh, earth surface, oceanography, environment. So taking India into consideration. I mean, yeah, I will give you a little hint here. So the floods have increased, the greenhouse effect has increased, the global warming has increased, the IPCC report is not good. The extreme weather is already 1 degree centigrade higher. The glacier is melting, of course, that is in the poles. Sea level is rising. I am near Singapore, and you can imagine they are worried now. So the COVID has also come back, and the economy has gone down, and the factories and gases are again going up. The carbon dioxide emission is there, the greenhouse gas effect in the air is there, as you can see in Italy. So the urban flash floods are now very common. So either there is poor drainage or there is poor irrigation. So in the disaster risk reduction management, the health effects in the climate change have taken a very bad turn. Now, if you see this diagram here, it's very beautiful. If you go to the next slide, hydrological system. Can you go there? We were talking of what's happening, say, from the rivers, the evaporation going to the condensation to the precipitation leading to rain, and then the runoff, and then the level of the water increases and the floods come back. Can you change the slide, please? Uh, Hydrological system. Okay, the next one, surface water systems. Next slide, please. So stream flow yields in a catchment system depend on a number of key climatic and landscape features. So the amount of runoff that can be generated in a catchment depend on climatic features such as rainfall distribution and seasonal patterns and evaporation. Dry and arid lands pose, which I have witnessed myself in Rajasthan. So the stream flow, related contaminant and pollutant loads also depend on the landscape, that is topography, land use, soil type, and land management. Can you change the slide, please? Then the different types of vegetation provide a different density of ground cover, affecting the amount of water that evaporates off the ground surface, the amount that forms recharge to the groundwater system, and the amount that runs off into the system. Is it okay if I'm audible enough? Because I hear an echo here. Next slide, please. So the subsurface water systems or the groundwater systems, an important part of the hydrological cycle. Where water and pollutants flow between the groundwater and surface water systems. The salt stores, as you know, in Gujarat, may reach the surface and affect agriculture and other ecology when the height of the water table changes. So it affects the quality of land and water of agriculture. As we all know, India is villages and agriculture is very important, as well as having impacts on the urban infrastructure, which is now because of the booming economy of India. This is also coming up. So changes in the groundwater quality and quantity can affect the surface water system, impacting on the plants, the animals, and the humans who use this water. So all of us are affected, not only in India or America, but all over the world. So the amount and quality of water in the groundwater system is dependent on factors that affect the recharge and the. You are 2 slides behind now. Because I'm reading my notes here. Can you put 2 slides more? Rainfall and the runoff will limit the amount of water that is available for recharge to the groundwater system. So land use and management as well as soils and topography will affect the amount and quality of rainfall that drains to the groundwater system. Surface water system or subsurface. Okay. Can you go to coastal systems? Next slide. So this is important, especially in relation to India, though more in the south. Coastal system may be seen as the area in which the terrestrial environment and the marine environment interact. These systems are very complex, varying in size over time with tidal waves. India is a big country. A coastal system may consist of several kilometers of land inwards from the beach out to width of sea just beyond the breaking waves. The coastal system is affected by climatic influences such as storms as well as by human influence in terms of human constructions. We cannot do much about it, but unfortunately that is facts of life. So the tidal influences also affect the beach environment and the amount of erosion that has taken place, especially tide rises at night due to the wind. So the width of the beach and the amount of sand erosion that is taking place will depend not only on recent storms but also on human-built structures that impede or expedite the erosion. Let's just go to Goa and see for yourself after 9, and you will see what I'm trying to say. Can you go to ecological systems, please? Next slide. So the term ecological system is used here to refer to 2 major types of systems, agriculture and the wildlife. So these systems are not completely independent of one another, as changes in one system will often affect the other. Because of Mother Rajasthan Alwar, so I did manage to see the sanctuaries, the wildlife sanctuaries. So the wildlife system very popular, very well established in Rajasthan and other parts of India. For example, the introduction of crops will change the available food supply for various native populations, which may increase or decrease the population numbers depending on the ability of different species to adapt their diet and habitat. And Rajasthan is a very good example of this, where you find many species, uh, the birds migrate. Increased clearing of land for agricultural use will also impact on native populations, as you can see. Okay, now I have finished ecological system. Next slide. Now you will come to the agricultural systems, please. You have to go another 2 slides. So the agricultural system consists of human developed systems of crop production and animal grazing. As you can see, animal grazing in many states in India.
लिंक रिस्पॉन्ड नहीं कर रहा है क्या हमारा लिंक ये तो म्यूट कर दो कोई प्रॉब्लम आ जाएंगे अभी एक बार पहुंचाता I think there's some technical problem with Dr. Lekhi, so kindly bear with us. He'll be joining us as a relay, and we are just getting in touch with him. So please bear with us. I just spoke to Dr. Lekhi. He's trying to rejoin those. So please bear with us. Will you join us? Dr. Prem, appreciate. Wait, he's just joining. Please join me in the session. Just check if total is online test. Just check. So I don't think so. We are able to say join us back because that. So let me introduce. Maybe everything if he comes, we can add him up to the speech. So now we have our next speaker, Dr. Marijoy Ennis-Lake. Dr. Ennis-Lake is currently working as an assistant professor at Surigao Northeast State University and Surigao, where born in Philippines. He has delivered talks on international platforms on agroforestry, soil, water conservation, and climate change, agroforestry awareness, and developing key for effective communication. Dr. Ennis-Lake has been the recipient of many awards, being excellent speaker on the agroforestry, soil, and water conservation, excellent speaker on climate change to agroforestry awareness, developing keys for effective communication, and international outstanding assistant professor in 2022. He has presented papers at 4 international conferences and has 6 national and 10 international publications at his credit. And we have another speaker with us, Dr. Mohammed Asif, introducing all my speakers one by one, so we can wait for Dr. Meki if he can join because the talk is very much incomplete. Just wait. If he's just checking Dr. Meki is online.
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, Dr. Meki, please welcome back. Yes, we can hear you very well.
My apologies. I'm in a remote area and the weather is very bad. I see Professor Asif is already here. He can start if he wants. I can continue. Thank you very much. Uh, okay, climatic systems. Where are we now? Okay, oceans. So I will just finish in short while. Thank you for understanding. It's always a great pleasure to be a part of your programs. So the response of the Earth climate to incoming solar radiation is determined by the complex interactions between the atmosphere, cryosphere, biosphere, and the solid Earth. So the dynamics of climate depend on the characteristic timescales of each component of the coupled system and the nonlinear interactions between them. Okay, we talk about oceans because on 3rd September, actually, we had this Save the Oceans program and also the World Earth Day. So the ocean systems are important storage of heat and moisture for climatic systems. You may not be worried so much, but you may want to come to Singapore for shopping maybe. But Singapore is worried because it is in the realms of the sinking countries of the future in, say, 2050. Can you believe this? And all this is due to global warming, climate changes. So the processes of evaporation and precipitation as well as wind generation are important in the transfer of moisture between the oceans and the atmosphere. The climate variability on timescales of decades to centuries is strongly controlled by the oceans. Can you imagine? We are only 1/4 on land. Important processes in the ocean system include the convection, dispersion, turbulent mixing processes in the surface here. So changes in the ocean system in terms of sea temperature or currents can affect regional climate as well as ice cap formation at the poles. Okay, actually the whole thing starts here. Yes, you may smile now. Modeling. Next slide, please. So we are talking about the environmental modeling. You may have seen some fashion shows models, but just to make it very interesting for all of you, what is a model? So defined as a simplification of reality that is constructed to gain the insights into select attributes of a physical, biological, economic, or social system. Next slide, please. So the formal representation of the behavior of the system processes is often in mathematical or statistical terms. So students, professors, all of this subject will be thrilled. The modeling is a system approach. It's projected representation of a system, phenomena, or a situation through the equation, graph, map, and visuals. It can help understand a state or situation or a phenomenon. You see, how are we predicting the climate? It's all because of the models that we have. They call it the logic models, which are not experienced or visualized at present, but there's a possibility of it occurring in future. You can just imagine how tough this job is. So one of the purposes of any model is to enable an analyst or a user to predict the effect of changes in the concerned system or phenomenon. How can, after the news that we read or listen every day on TV all over the world, there will be a weather report tomorrow, this is going to happen, tomorrow that is going to happen. Sometime it happens and sometime it does not happen. Imagine, that is because there is a model. So this predictive modeling is a process of using previous known results to create a model that can be used to forecast the future outcomes. So we are talking of future outcomes that are going to take place because we are looking at the present, and the present is the future. So if the present is not nice, the future is not going to be nice. So, but a model on one hand should be a close approximation to the real system. On the other hand, it should not be very complex to understand and unable to do experiment using it. Last line is very important. Pay attention. So a good model is one that keeps balance between the realism and the simplicity. Why are models used? Next slide, please. Okay. Thank you, Professor Asusha, for waiting. I am between you and me. Thank you, sir. Why are models used? So models have a long history of helping to explain the scientific phenomena and to predict the outcomes. Because I worked so hard on it, so I really want to show this to you. So the models are based on simplifying the assumptions of environmental processes. Because next week I'm going to Egypt and they're having this COP27. And so we are doing this healthcare without harm in Southeast Asia. And they're putting climate and the healthcare professionals together to see what we can do together. So to diagnose, which is also in medicine, but here we are talking of climate now, assess what happened and examine the causes and precursor conditions, that is why it happened. that have taken place. So to forecast the outcomes and future events, what will happen? Earthquakes, tsunamis, you just name it, floods. Uh, Malaysia is ready for floods. We are going to have monsoon very soon, and we are going to be in trouble. So models can be used in form a variety of activities, which include the research, toxicity, screening. We are talking environmental toxicology here, and imagine already we have to do some screening. There's a policy analysis. Everything has to be analytically seen. National regulatory decision making and implementation of the applications. Model structure. You will love it. From the local to the regional to the global. So if there's a problem in my house, it will spread to my area, to my country, to my continent, and then to the world. So it is how things are getting from bad to worse. And if we do not act, we may just escape it. Let's face it. But the next generation won't. So in any modeling exercise, next slide, please. So that is very interesting. The system of interest should be defined. So there's a chemical, physical, or a biological process. There's a scope and scale for time or space. So the model developers, they answer these following questions. Okay, just to come back to you. From local to regional to the global. So what processes is the model attempting to reproduce and include, and at what time scale are the included processes occurring, and at what spatial scale are the included processes going to occur? Mathematicians, so you start scratching. Okay, next please. So the types of the computational models, since everybody uses a computer now, here comes the mathematicians, the computer scientists together to talk about a model on climate change, on environment. Look how challenging, how difficult this subject is, if you look at it, and how many people are involved in this. So this is an empirical versus mechanistic, deterministic versus probabilistic. It's a probability. Dynamic versus static, generic, equations by the model type, and other relevant modeling terms. So it's not one model. It's many models for many countries. Okay, next one, we are going to talk about the models very quickly. We have, okay, the empirical, the mechanistic, the deterministic, the probabilistic models, the dynamic, and the static. We will go fast. Well, next speaker is also waiting. The other relevant modeling terms are the model framework and the mode of the model. Okay, thank you. You can quickly change the slides because I have the notes here. Okay, the summary table. This is okay. We go next. Better. Environmental model. Because this is exactly the topic that we are supposed to be talking about today. The next slide is very important. And it is very easy, and you will make yourself very happy because this is all you have to know today. It involves the application of multidisciplinary knowledge to explain, explore, and predict the Earth's response to environmental changes. What are all these events? These are just the Earth's response, that's all. And we are just trying to intervene, trying to save each other, trying to save Mother Earth, trying to save the environment. That's all we are doing. Models are representing of the environment that can be used to inform regulation or management decisions. The rest is all up to us. Okay, next, why modeling is essential? Thank you. Management of the natural resources. Virtually modeling helps to visualize the future scenario. Like I'm showing you something, it's a virtual. In addition, it also assists to forecast, predict consequences of our quality of life in case we continue to exploit the natural resources irrationally to meet our demands. I'm going to say this again. If we continue to exploit the natural resources irrationally to meet our demands, the human greed is not dead, and that is we are destroying our own land, and there's no point crying now over the spilled milk because we have done enough damage. So now the damage control phase has taken place. The physical model, next one please. Good for architects. You can just imagine in this space of time how many people I've got myself involved. It's a small or larger physical copy of an object. The object being modeled may be small or large. So the physical models are smaller, and you just talk about globe or map. There's a schematic model. So they are more abstract than physical models. So the graphs and charts and schematic models, they provide the pictorial representation of the mathematical relationships. You know about the pie charts, bar charts, diagrams, drawing, blueprints. Okay, next please. Conceptual models. They tie together many ideas. That's basically what we are doing. Well, it is interesting to know because now I am here and you are there, and there's a distance between us, right? So the conceptual model, the plan for the design. So there is a student other side mental model, how the user see it based on their knowledge. How you hear me, how you understand my topic is from your point of view, your perspective. So the teacher, the professor designs a representation. So how the student is going to take it, test the hypothesis, interpret based on the knowledge. And that interface comes in. So between you and me is what? This screen. And how I make you understand and how you understand it eventually. Mathematical model. Most abstract of the four classifications. Well, we don't go into the mathematics now. Next, please. This is very important. Real world. Let's go to the real world. The real world problem, we have a problem. We have to inform, we have to face implications, we have data. So what is the solution? It's a very big problem. So what are the equations? So can we make some assumptions? We have to solve it whatever it takes. Now look, so it's not so easy to understand. Even mathematically, it's a challenge. Next one, design. So design is an approach to give a shape or structure of an object to strengthen the functional efficiency. Different principles of mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology, imagine, along with the elements of art are used for designing any object. You can just imagine how many people are involved. So in the sustainable living, it is focused on different day-to-day utilities, tools and gears, infrastructures. So life cycle design or cradle to cradle mainly focus on products flow of material resources. There is this diagram, principles of design for sustainability. Okay, next, planning. Next slide is planning. So how do we plan? Good. Eco-region, assemble information for analysis, identify the conservation targets, set the conservation goal, evaluate and refine the portfolio. Okay, I'm going quick. It might go a little bit above as well. But the whole idea is the environmental and social benefits that we derive from such hard work. You see, such beautiful planning. A scientific approach has to be there. There's a collection of data and then the necessary models and the designs take place. So there's some sustainable developing. I see something. Okay, can you go further, please? Next one, example model, sustainable living. That's exactly what we want. We want some viability in life. We want some sustainable living. Next one, please. Next slide. So there's a, on the individual basis, design and development and modeling and planning, and then the areas of intervention, the ecological, social, and the economical areas, and the action-based, study-based, and awareness living to the sustainable living. I wish I had more time to explain all this. The sustainable design optimize the size potential, minimize the non-renewable energy use, environmentally preferable products, protect and conserve the water, enhance the indoor environment, and optimize the operational and maintenance practices. Oh, I went faster. Next slide, please. Okay, this is planning. So I think we are missing a lot of things, but it is due to the manufacturers now. Next slide is quite interesting, actually. Sustainable design. No, next one. I only have another few pages only left. Yes, just be patient. Next one, please. So this was challenging. This it's not easy to do this mapping, environmental modeling, but it is more important. Is not this, but more important is what we are facing now in future. And for even a layman or person who has no knowledge or not even interest in this subject, will try to understand that all this is done, and now we are just undoing it. And undoing is quite difficult to do. Example of the model. Can we go next, please? Project 1. Land use change and impact on natural and cultural landscape. Okay, I will read because it's interesting. Land use change is the process by which human activities transform the natural landscape, referring to how land has been used. Because we live on land, right? So we build on land. Usually the purpose land use changes are often non-linear and sometimes may be causing multi-dimensional impacts to the environment, but they are environmental issues. Since we live on land, we travel on land. So therefore land use changes need assessment to ensure the sustainable conditions. Next slide, please. What are the objectives? To assess the land use changes, to conduct field level survey, to quantify changes in land use. Methodology. I don't know if you heard of Google Earth, satellites. So Google Maps. It's very interesting. It's very challenging. NASA uses it. You can just imagine. The space scientists use all this, and so this is very advanced science actually. And people do PhDs in this just to save the Earth. You can see the interest people have in education. Um, can someone please change the slide? Because the expected results, I'm coming to the end now. So the major land use categories in the areas, extent of which of each land use, the changes in the land, the decline or increase in respective land, use of free satellite image data for local understanding, changes in the pattern of land. We have to understand this, only then we can find solutions. So the model of the life-changing identification, development, evaluation, and application. We have to run this model, analyze outputs to inform a decision. See, a decision has to be taken. This can only be done when the model is correct. So the problem specification, the model identification, the model development, the model evaluation, and the model application. And then we have to do the post auditing to find the role of the modeling. Now here comes the whole crux of today's talk. What is the role of this modeling? I've been talking for so long, perhaps not with such candid information. Where there is shortage of data, information models can be used to provide useful insight. So it gives you good insight as to where we are leading to. In general, models can help users study the behavior of ecological systems. Models are used to make long and short-term forecasts. Models can also be used to provide concise summaries of data in both diagnostic and regulatory contexts. So the applied methods, we have environmental statistics, we have the geographical statistics, and we have the environmental modeling. Never mind, it's too long. So I will try to finish it now. Human activity, natural systems, emissions, fate and transport, exposure models, human health effects, ecological effects, economic impact, and non-economic. All are interrelated. See, all our activities are interrelated, and we are the cause and effect, as we call it in economics. So the natural system and human activity. There are two things happening. We create problems, natural disasters also take place. Not all of us are because of us. So there will be an emission model, there will be a fate and transport model, there will be exposure models, there will be human health and environment models. So COP27 next week in Egypt, they are talking about human health and environment. That how are we responsible for the problems that we are creating on Earth, and how are we going to find solutions now? So there are economic impact models. Economy is now devastated, especially with COVID-19. And then how the non-economic impact models will also take place. So if only you could have shown me this slide. Well, anyway, maybe you're stuck here. This is the last one. Human activity model. There's a physical environment, occupational, recreational activities. There will be recurrent variations, social climate, adjustment, defense, neutralities, individual resources. And so these are the basic emotional process. So there's also a fate and transport model. Well, we will not do that. So basically what I've done today is a socio-ecological model for the predicting the impacts of the land use and climate change on the regional diversity. That was the whole idea for all this. And for that, I'm very grateful to all of you. Thank you very much. Let's save Mother Earth and be nice and kind to each other. So thank you again, Brother Professor Asif Shah from Ethiopia, for waiting all the while. And I love you because I met you in India. Thank you, Professor Dr. Mamta Sharma-ji, Professor Hukum Singh sir, and God bless all of you. Dhanyawad. Okay.
I think everyone can hear me now. So thank you, Dr. Daly. That was really an amazing presentation, and trust me, we all must spend on. Especially me, I was trying to understand the last chart which you shared. It was just amazing. And there's so much appreciation for you in the chat box as always. Thank you so much for being a part of us. And we hope that you will keep joining us like this every time that we have such programs. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So, the next speaker for today is Dr. Mohan Asif. Dr. Shah is currently working as an associate professor in economics at Cambridge University. He has been previously working at Pakistan University, Kabul, Afghanistan. MBA Business School, Bangalore, Karnataka, India, and Lovely Professional University, Punjab, India. He has also served as a lecturer at Jamia College of Application and also helped his department teaching assistant during his PhD. He has completed his master's and PhD in economics with sound teaching and business schools. He has more than 50 publications which are indexed in members of science, index journals, and he has attended more than 35 research methodology workshops, that's a great number, and faculty development programs sponsored by the university. As well as he has an excellent grasp of the subject material, having more than 10 years of teaching and research experience. He has structure and he's amazing speaker, just to be managed. So with a lot of respect and gratitude, I will call upon Dr. Shah. This stage is all yours. आपका स्वागत है, आपका अभिनंदन है भारत से.
Hello, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. So I'm happy again to see all of you. I'm very, we can say, a thankful note from my side that you have given me an opportunity again. One second, let me have a presentation. I hope I'm audible and my presentation is visible. Am I audible?
Yes, Dr. Shah, you are audible.
Okay, okay. My presentation is also visible. Huh? Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. So first of all, thank you, dear Professor Mamta. And I thank all the people who are behind the stage, starting from Professor Hukum Singh. Then we have all other professors whom we met them when it was the international conference there in Alwar. It was a great opportunity and a great stay there. We learned many things, and we are happy regarding that. And the warmth we have got from each and every person there in Alwar, whether he was from Alwar or outside Alwar. It was very great. Now again, we have got the opportunity to present. So here, my topic is very much aligned with the theme of the presentation. And the topic is environmental conservation and business sustainability. Actually, I am from economics department. So I'll be talking about the business sustainability, that how we can run our businesses, how we can run our economy without damaging our mother earth. As Dr. Prem Adish Lekhi was also telling in the last, that we have to save our mother earth. So without impacting our economy, as well as without impacting our earth or a globe, because it is not we. Can you please mute on the backside? There is going some lot of noise. Can you mute your mics, please? Mamta, if you can do it, thank you. So I was talking about how that we have to go vis-a-vis with the business, with the economy, with the earth, with the soil, with the air, with everything, with all living creatures and non-living creatures. We have to take into mind. So it is not just a concern of making money. No, we have to think beyond making money. We are humans first, then we may be professionals. We may be an economist, I may be a doctor, I may be an engineer. But first, we are all humans, so we have to think about humanity, and it's not just our concern. We have to be very concerned about the current generation and the future generation who belong to us, our children, our grandchildren, our grandchildren. It is only possible if we are so much concerned. Otherwise, it can be just a mess, as Dr. Prem was talking about, that if we are not, so we have to face, then we have to be ready, we have very much ready to face those negative concerns, or we can say negative impacts, because we all know that we are from India, so we have a concept of karma. Karma means that you do good, you have good. Huh? Whatever you send into heavens, it will come back to you. So as he was talking that we are very much concerned about the environmental change which we are facing in Malaysia and Singapore. Huh? So, okay, you see, if I am talking about sustainability, clear? It is not using all the stuff on the earth, clear? Making life better for people, not worse, and not covering all the waste that will never go again, especially the plastics, which we are suffering like anything. You see, you can see here, this is an image, a photograph of a wild, we can say bear, or we can say a white bear. Their habitat has been destroyed like anything. They're suffering because of our bad activities. Whatever we are doing for our sustenance, we are damaging, we are putting a threat on their life. You can see here how the earth is shrinking. You can see here that land, or we can say per capita or per person, how much of hectares land it was available in 1900s. 7.91 hectares per person, but now it is just 1.44 per, we can say hectare per person to be in 2050. So how we are going, what we are doing, these are all active. You see, when we talk about water, if you see the water here, clear? This is fresh water, just 2.5% of the rest of the water is saline, salty water, 97.5%. Out of that 2.5%, 68.9% is locked in glaciers, 30.8% in groundwater, and just 0.3% of 2.5% is in lakes and rivers, which is useful for drinking. You can see our population. We Indians are going like anything. We are going to beat China in a few years. We will be the most populated country in the world. Right now, second. These are not some animated images. These are the real images, my dear, and these are from our own country. These are not any fake images. These are not, we can say, animated. We can say drawn by some, we can say a painter, or we can say any artists. No, these are real shocking figures you can see, especially in our South India. When we are hit back like anything with the floods, and then at the same time we are hit in some other part of the country with severe droughts. Kindly mute your mics, please. You see, we all know that World War First over, World War Second over, and how much destruction still we are facing, the impacts, negative impacts of the world wars. And we all know that if there will be a world war, it will be because of water. It will be a water conflict. Please mute your mics, please. On the background, please mute your mics. Dr. Mamta Sharma, if you can just mute the mics of participants, please. So this is a photo. This is a photograph on the left. You can see here. It is again not an animated photo. It is from one of the countries from African continent. You see how people are making their life, how people are suffering. Some are enjoying. You see what we have done to our environment. Our forests, how much deforestation we have done, how much resource exploitation we have done. And on the name of urbanization, on the name of development, on the name of prosperity, on the name of, we can say dollars, what we are doing, how we are destroying our, we can say, Mother Earth. Industrialization, you can see how it started from 1800 and now how is it in 2000 and now how it will be in 2020, like that. You see, you can see a single product coming in hundreds of flavors, coming in hundreds of colors, coming in hundreds of shapes, coming in hundreds of sizes, coming in hundreds of types. A single product, just a single product. Earlier we used to be called, you see, I'm an Indian actually. By birth, by citizenship, I'm an Indian, currently working in Ethiopia. But we all know we have few things in common. You see, my dear, noodles. We don't have a name for noodles. Clear? We don't have a name for noodles. We have a name Maggie. Whenever you go to a shopkeeper, you ask that I need Maggie. Please give me Maggie. Actually, Maggie is a brand, my dear. Maggie is not noodles. Clear? Noodles is name, but nowadays you can see we have a lot of companies who are selling the same Maggie which we had a concept. Clear? Sold by now we can see sold by Sunfeast, Yippee Maggie. Clear? We have a lot of sold by Nor, Nor we have. And if you talk about then ice creams, clear? How many companies, how many flavors inside a single ice cream? Clear? How many flavors? Clear? If you talk about her chips, we used to call Lay's. Clear? It is not now Lay's. Lay's was just there. Now we have hundreds of companies who are selling the same chips. And unnecessary pollution by our own activities, clear, which are making the whole world to suffer. And you see, if you remember the first photograph which I had shown you, if you remember the first photograph, this one, this green Mother Earth will be converted here if we will not take care. So from our planet's point of view, there is no throwing garbage out because there is no out. We cannot send our garbage to any other planet. Clear? We are trying to have a place where we can send our people so that they can live, but you cannot send the garbage out of your earth. Clear? So we have to take care of this. Now, who will take care? Who will take care? There are stalwarts. There are people. There are great personalities who never ever care of profit, who never ever care of money, who never ever care of just their own personal being. You see this billionaire, clear, he's no more billionaire. And he's not a billionaire by Indian rupees. He's a billionaire dollar. He was a billionaire by dollar wealth, clear? So billion dollar we can say. Or we can say a person who is, if you talk about in India, so it is 80 times nearly now, 83 times $1 is equivalent to 83 Indian rupees now. The owner of Patagonia company, clear? He just gave away his company for the sake of environment. And when they do it, you see, people, they follow. Because when you do good, people follow you. If you do bad, people follow you. And especially when you are a great figure, when you are a great stalwart, you see, Loriman's billionaire founder just donated $76 million to protect the forests of his British Columbia. Clear? You see, after the Patagonia's founder, he gave away his company. So there are people, they're following you. If you do good, no need to worry. There is a shadow, there is an image. People are following you, people will do it. You see, this is our, I hope all of you may be knowing, it is known as Tata Hall. It is a building which was donated by Ratan Tata ji for the institute where he did his studies, Harvard Business School. So people are there to help, but now you have to take care. So if you know the Body Shop, one of the famous brand in the world, cosmetics, if you know the founder, Anita Roddick, she said that, you see, it's not just once, you see, you are talking about, you can say, your own business. No, you have to be very ethical. Huh? When you talk about your business, it is not just a business in the short run. It's not a business for 1 year. You have to sustain your business. You want your business to be for hundreds of years, for generations and generations. How is it possible? It is only possible that if you are doing something good, really, if people want you. You see, the Virgin Company entrepreneur, you all know him, Sir Richard Branson. We all know him. He has not given himself the name Sir Richard. World has given him this title, Sir. And you see what he said. He said, you see, it's not, we can say that you are doing a business and you are thinking that you are doing something different. No. People should tell your worth if you are not there. If you are there, remember that if you are not there, people should miss you. Clear? So purpose beyond profits, which I was talking about, that your business should not just be profit. It should be profits, but not just only profits. Not just only profits, beyond profits. So what is that beyond profit? You see, successful business is about more than money. It's not just about money, money, money always. I told you, it is money. You run your business for profit, but not always for profit only. Clear? Huh. You have to, we can say, you mentioned here, you see, something not just to invest in, but something to believe in. That has told you that Patagonia owner, what he did, he managed his business. He became a billionaire. He became a billionaire. It is not that he did not make profit. He became a billionaire. He had his good life. He had his good business. But everything was not just profit. So even if you go through his, it is a long biography. It will take a lot of time if I discuss, because he was a very much mother, we can say, lover. So he used to love, we can say, Mother Nature. So he had his personal experience. When he used to go for the trekking, if you read his history, how he has evolved. So it is your business. You see, it is mentioned here that your business should improve the life of the people, not just their needs. Your business should not fulfill the needs of the people. No, it should improve what we call as standard of living. It is not just living now, it is standard of living. So the people's standard of living should we can say improve, then you will make your profit. Then you will make your profit. But my dear, it is not something which you imagine in a day or a night. No, my dear. You have to go for the, we can say, a hard work, a consistent hard work. Consistency. It needs consistency. It needs patience. It needs perseverance. Clear? So these are the things that your business, you see, for example, your business fails, make our lives better in some way, physically or emotionally, spiritually or eventually, then it will be revealed as a commodity of little value. Why, my dear? Because I told you that people, you see, in economics, we have one concept that getting a customer is not something big. Getting a customer is not something big. Retaining a customer is something big. You will cheat people, you will get customers. You will cheat people, you will get customers. But will they buy your product in future? Will they be, we can say, continuous, we can say, customers or consumers for a product? No, may not be if you have done it to cheat. So, means, my dear, you see, there are missions, there are visions, there are brands, there are slogans everywhere, but most of the times they are superficial, short-sighted. Just they have an image for 6 months that will make this much of big profit, and that is done. But those companies, they don't sustain in the long run. That is why they are the most damaging for the economy as well, because their main motive is money, dollars. Clear? So they seek to make money without giving anything back. Point number one, or they create the best products, or to be the first choice, or maximize the returns to the shareholders, or if they are customer concerned, they can. You see, my dear, once Sachin Tendulkar, we all know, Sir, he got the title of Sir, Sachin Tendulkar. Clear? We all know him. We are the biggest fans if we talk about cricket, or the whole world is biggest fan of Tendulkar. Even Virat Kohli, we are super fans of Virat Kohli, but he himself is a fan of Sachin Tendulkar. Clear? If you talk about the people across the world, he was once asked that, sir, how you can make this much of number of centuries? You see, what is your aim, your goal will make it your life. You see, APJ Abdul Kalam Azad, he said that dreaming is not something bad. You dream things, no, nothing bad, dream it. But then work hard to make those dreams come true. You have to work hard. So here, Sachin Tendulkar, I was telling that he was one of the asked that how you continuously perform and you make a lot of centuries. Clear? The highest, we can say, record of centuries if we have, Sachin Tendulkar. He said that I never think of centuries. I just think of 50 runs, half century, 50 runs. When I come, I play, I perform, and I make half century. When I make 50 runs, I don't think I have made 50 runs. I think that I'm on zero. I again start from zero. Again, I have a target of 50 runs. So sometimes I get successful, sometimes I fail, but this is my target. That I never go for a higher goal. Play like that 100. I come for 50, I work for it, then again a 50, work for it, again a 50, work for it, and I make centuries like this. So means, my dear, your goal should not be a short-run goal or a short-term goal. Your goal should be a bigger goal, clear? And how you manage it, that depends on you, that what sort of mentality you carry. Accordingly, you will work on it. So means, my dear, you see, as I told you, that therefore we can say we have a lot of things which are going around us, and few things they are changing the world, they are changing the life of the people, and few things they are making the life of the people worse. So now, when we talk about sustainability, sustainability does not only mean that we are talking about future generations. Most of the times we say that sustainability means that we should consume the resources in such a way that we should not harm, or we should take care of the, we can say, need of the future generations. My dear, you are first taking care of yourself first, because we are very visible nowadays, very visible that how our own country, if we talk about India, how different parts are suffering like anything differently. Some parts of our country at the same time they are hit with drought, extreme drought, and at the same time some parts of our country are hit with extreme floods. Somewhere the rain erratical, clear, erratical distribution of rain. Somewhere it is more, somewhere it is very less. You all know it about Rajasthan as well, clear. Our water table, how down it has gone, clear. So means, my dear, that when we talk about this sustainability, I told you that it is not a single day dream that you will see a dream in the night and in the morning you will see the dream coming true. No, you have to take challenges, clear. You have to take, it will take time. You have to be patient, enough patient. You have to be disciplined player, organized player. You have to be well organized. You should have a determination. Clear? If you talk about Google, you see, Google is now, we can say, leading the world. Even I was hearing that they are going to give you some certificates, clear? The applicable, a character certificate. So Google is one of the leading, we can say, institutions in the world. How they are doing it? They are very concerned with ESG. They are very much concerned with ESG. Clear? Environment, sustainability, clear, governance, if you talk about, they are very much concerned about this. It is not just they are making profit. I will show you a few photographs after this, maybe. You see, their intent is not a short-term intent, but a long intent. I will show you. We all know the company of Coca-Cola. Clear? This is Coca-Cola. We all know Coca-Cola. They are rolling the world in Africa, also here in Ethiopia as well. Billions of dollars they're making. But how can you sell the same Coca-Cola for hundreds of years? No, you have to be very environmental, we can say, conscious. You see, marine plastic bottle innovation, a food grade plastic bottle, clear? 25% of the recycled marine plastic that we throw our plastic in seas and oceans, clear? They recycle that plastic, they make it. You see, 100% plant-based plastic. 100% plant, this bottle is 100% plant-based plastic. Clear? So this is how you have to go. It does not mean that you are Coca-Cola and it is enough for you to save your brand. No, my dear. You see, we all know there is one brand known as IKEA. IKEA, the world's largest furniture selling company. IKEA. Clear? A conglomerate business. They had a huge loss in a single day. And how it happened? That they got into news that IKEA is procuring the wood from the fresh trees. The fresh trees are cut, the wood is procured, and they make the furniture, which was a fake news later on. But they had huge loss, and it took them 2 or 3 years to recover from a single, we can say, mistake which they had not done, an alleged thing, maybe which they had not done. That then they later on they cleared everything, that how we procure the old wood and how they make the furniture out of it. Clear? So your business should not be just profit based. I told you, beyond profit. And second thing is making people's lives better. That your business should make the life of the customers who are consuming that products better every day. So you have to take those goals, and your concern should be that the product you are selling as a business, it should be of supreme quality. It should be of supreme quality, clear? But it should provide a value. There should be a value addition inside the product. You see, it is mentioned here that while these objectives might indeed be important, these are worthless without a higher purpose. I told you there may be a higher purpose that you want to sell the best product to the world. There may be a purpose you want to become the billionaire, but there are several other purposes. If you have those purposes, if you have that goal, you see, we all say that we have religion. Clear? I'm a Muslim, I'm a Hindu, I'm a Christian, I'm a Sikh, I'm a Buddhist, clear? But we all agree on this, that we are humans first, clear? There is something which is beyond our, we can say, religious, we can say thinking, that is humanity. If we have humanity, then I can be a good Muslim, I can be a good Hindu, clear? If I'm not a good practicing Muslim, if I'm not a good human, I can't be a good practicing Muslim, my dear. So that is why here, when we have goals, that you can have a lot of goals as a businessman, you have a lot of goals, but there are some goals which are beyond this. The goal with a higher purpose. What is that goal? I told you that what you have to do, that you have to do a work which will add the value to the life of the people. So businesses should be there. They should be there. I told you that there are businesses, we have economic motives, we make money, that is it. But my dear, you see, I told, it's mentioned here in the blue, you can see on the second paragraph of the slide, that investors get a return on their investment, employees get a return on their efforts, and customers get a return on their loyalty through investment in the better solutions over time. So you are getting a return, but how you are making. Now, there is a concern that if we will not take care, it can be late. And how late? Too much late. So we have to do it now, or as I told, as Dr. Prem was also telling, that we have to face the consequences very badly. So you see what some companies and their shareholders, they become, we can say, blind. Huh? They have a lot of greed. They just want profits. They just want money. But my dear, they most realize that in the long run, they are the biggest sufferers in the long run. So you can do it. You can go for it. You can build a stronger reputation as a brand like Nike, like Adidas. Yeah? But you have to be very environmental concerned, very environmental friendly, very environmental concerned. Otherwise, my dear, I told you, see, the question therefore is not really about shareholder greed, but about the purpose of business you are making beyond making the money. So means, my dear, I told that there should be a goal. There should be a goal of making profit, but it should not be a goal, we can say, to make just profit. So there is, you see, there is genuinely good and compelling reason that why organizations exist beyond making money. Why? Because, my dear, they have an aim. There is one company in US, what they do, they just sell yogurt. And on every yogurt, we can say that box which they are selling, there are some, I think, 12 pieces of yogurt, we can say small boxes inside a single box. And what they do, they have just, we can say, aligned with one NGO who are helping the people, the woman with breast cancer. So what they are doing, they are just collecting, and they have done it from last 10 years. They are collecting some cents. I don't know how much it was, some 0.6 cent or something, or some, I don't know properly, 6 cent or something. A very meager amount, very less amount. But later on in 10 years, they got millions of dollars for the cause. How? Because you see, people feel, we can say, happy. We all know when I was a student of 10th standard, it was the year 2005 something, 2005, when I was a student of 10th class, 2005. I completed my graduation in 2010. 2007 was my 12th, 2005 was my matriculation. I still remember that we used to use notebooks, classmate notebooks. On the back side of the classmate notebook was written something, one quote was written, that you should feel proud using classmate notebooks. Why? Because you have contributed 1 rupee for a noble cause. Because ITC was taking 1 rupee of that investment and spending for some good cause. So people used to feel happy, clear, that we have contributed for something. We have spent money, but we have contributed for a bigger cause. So means, my dear, when you are doing business, you should feel that you are making the lives better for people. So business is about making people's life better. Often, there are many ways to do it. I told you that there is a way of charity. There is a way of, we can say, paying the taxes. Clear? And there is a way nowadays, my dear. There is a way, clear, that you align with NGOs, non-government organizations, non-profit organizations, clear? And they are contributing. Their people are contributing. And then customers, you see, customers feel, they feel worthy. They feel worthy. Nowadays, we all have a concept of organic products, clear? Organic products. Nowadays, people are ready to pay 5 times price. When I was doing my PhD, I was in Pondicherry area. In Pondicherry, there is one market run by French people. That is known as Auroville. At that time, a normal bread was costing some 10 or 20 rupees, 10 to 20 rupees, and that bread from Auroville was costing 80 rupees. Why? Because it was organic bread. And people were, a lot of people, even people could not get that organic bread because they used to prepare it. They cannot make much. You see, they can't make much organic bread. You have to be very concerned. So people were not getting. They are ready to pay more than that, but they were not getting ample of the bread available was not there. If you talk about Auroville, that market is all run by French and it is all environmental friendly. They don't use the electricity which is run by burning the coal. No, they have solar energy, they have wind energy there. They have electricity which is run by the solar and wind energy. So Auroville, because it is run by not by we Indians, it is run by the French people. They have the hospital there. If you see the hospital there, you will feel amazing. Not a small dust there. Everything they give, massage and other things, all organic. But you have to pay 8 times price, and people are paying. People are ready to pay. So when you are selling a product, means you are, we can say, putting a smile on the faces of the people who are using those products. Clear? So it should not be a greenwashing. Clear? Greenwashing. Greenwashing means just telling that we are doing something green, and on the name of that namesake, they are cheating the customers. Clear? But in the long run, what will happen, my dear? In the long run, you will suffer as a company. Customers will find a different, we can say, companies. They will find the products from different companies, but you will suffer as a businessman. So as I told you that, you see, you can do it. Charitable aid or voluntary work might seem like one-way donation, but done right, they are an investment in our own world. I told you that you can align with NGOs, you can align with non-profit organizations, clear? And when you do it, my dear, I told you, sometimes you may not see direct impact, you will see an indirect impact. Clear? You see, supporting social entrepreneurs in India can make a direct impact on the innovations available in North America. So sometimes you see deforestation in South America has a direct climatic impact on weather patterns of Northern Europe. So sometimes you can find a direct impact, a good impact, or an indirect impact. It can be bad. So means, my dear, that nothing in this world, no technology, no institution, no individual can do what a business can do, because a business is related with thousands of people. So it is not an individual level. It is not, huh? You see, we can use technology, we can use an institution, we can use individuals for a cause if we have that cause. So means, my dear, that you can make a positive difference in the life of the people, and you can do it very well and at a very extreme level. But I'm finishing my slide because I know how it becomes boring a little bit in online. So now, all this, what do we need? We all need an aspiring leadership. What I earlier told, if you remember, this guy, the owner of Patagonia, we need such people. We need such people. We need such people. Ratan Tata, clear? Huh? And we need people who are doing it very well. They are not concerned with their personal level, clear? They are not concerned. So today's leaders must do business with their heads up, sensing, understanding, interpreting the issues which are around them, and then aligning their businesses so as to remove those bottlenecks, so as to remove those problems, and to get new opportunities. Then I told you that success is yours. Success is yours, but if you can do it only. So now, what does heads up leaders mean? Clear? Who are forward thinkers, who are open-minded people. Clear? As a more collaborative. There are people who are paying, we can save huge money for students for doing internships on such projects. If you have a project which is environmental concern, people are ready. The companies, they hire you, they pay you for their internship, which is your necessity. They will pay you for that. And then these great people, they inspire people. As I already told you, that when the Patagonia owner did it, people do it, they follow it. When you do good, people follow you. So you have to understand, means if there is a problem, there is a solution for that problem. If there is a threat, if you have that, we can say, capabilities, we can convert the threat into an opportunity. It is in your hands, clear? So means, my dear, we need such people who do not carry a short run vision, who carry a long run vision, who are not pessimistic, who are optimistic, clear? Who do not, we can say, go under threat, who do not crumble under threat, who always see new opportunities, who always find new opportunities, new ways, clear? Who make people's life better, not worse. And we need to encourage them. And there are people who are ready. Nowadays, you all may be knowing that nowadays there is huge crowdfunding. People will, you need not to worry about money. If you have a good idea, people will give you billions of dollars. Crowdfunding, clear? You start a startup. We all know that how many startups are very successful in India. You have a very good concept, people will fund you from across the world. They don't know you. There are angel investors. Angel investor means you don't know who has given how much, clear? There is crowdfunding. Huge people will fund you. So, but if you have a goal, if you don't have money, not a concern. So means now, who are these people? These are the people who provide the customers the product that will improve their lifestyle. Point number one. Point number two, they market green products to fulfill consumers' needs. I told you, they will sell the bread, organic bread. They will sell the shampoo, chemical-free shampoo. They will sell you the we can say soft drinks, a plastic which is a renewable or a recyclable plastic. And because responsible products respond to demand. And this is what was my today's presentation. I hope you understood my presentation. If there is any question, I am happy to answer that question. Thank you so much.
Open the chat box if there's a question.
Anyone having question? I'm happy to answer the question.
Appreciation for you, Dr. Shah. Is really there. And Dr. Dekhi would have got to speak from your heart that I trust this new program are very good.
Unfortunately, I am not able to hear properly.
Can you hear me now? Properly? Dr. Shah, can you hear me?
Little bit. I'm able to hear little bit.
Just check. Everybody is able to hear me? Just write in the chat box.
Actually, your voice is buffering. I don't know whether it is from my side or your side. Your voice is buffering.
Just check. So if there are no questions, I would like to formally thank Dr. Shah for such an amazing deliberation, and trustee Dr. Shah was like your wide role of discussion, talking about the businesses and sustainability and everything. And I think it is so much suitable for ISTTP-4. And there's so much of appreciation for you. And there's certain getting some people don't really guarantee that they want to have your slides because you didn't move your slides. I was trying to get in touch with you, but you were not responding. I would try to follow you. I will look to you. But nobody you spoke very well. So if possible, can you really please share your slides with us so that I can share them with the public?
Sure.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Shah.
Sure. I will share my slide with you surely.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. And I hope that you keep joining us like this and being a lesson to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And do visit every time or daily whenever you are in your next time. Thank you so much. And now let me start on this break and evaluation. I would like to call upon our next speaker, which is Dr. Ryan John Annesley. Dr. Annesley, I've already introduced, but again, a small bit for the people who have joined us just now. Dr. Annesley is currently working as an assistant professor at the School of State University. He has delivered talks on international platforms on agroforestry to soil and water conservation, climate change to agroforestry awareness, and developing key more effective communication. Dr. Annesley has been the recipient of many awards like Excellent Speaker on Agroforestry to Soil and Water Conservation, Excellent Speaker on Climate Change to Agroforestry Awareness, Excellent Speaker on Developing Keys for Effective Communication and International Standard System. Artist congratulations to you, Dr. Annesley. He has presented papers at 4 international conferences and has 6 national and 10 international publications to his credit. So, Dr. Annesley, this stage is all yours. Please go ahead with your presentation. Please build Dr. Annesley.
Thank you so much, Madam. Thank you so much, Madam, for your introduction. And this time I have to share my slide.
Yes, sure. Yes, sure. Please go ahead.
Have you seen my slide, Madam?
Yes, we can see your slides really well. We can hear words.
Okay, thank you so much. Good day to one and all, especially to Rishi Government Autonomous College, Alwar, Rajasthan, India, headed by Dr. Hukam Singh, patron and principal, and Dr. Mamta Sharma of RRC Alwar for inviting me as a keynote speaker of this prestigious international event. For those who do not know me yet, I am Marjan Villamor Anislag, Assistant Professor from Surigao del Norte State University, Mainit Campus Magpayang, Surigao del Norte. The topic that I would like to share with you for this day is all about agroforestry for degraded landscape in the world. The contents of this presentation will focus on the introduction, highlighting the research problems and objectives. Moreover, this will tackle the materials and methods, results and discussion, conclusion, and recommendation. Nowadays, one of our major problems is degraded landscape. The degraded landscapes are those lands that are now abandoned because they are not able and suitable for agricultural production, and others are contaminated with toxic elements that are harmful to humans and animals. The major causes of landscape degradation are human activities like clearing, overgrazing, river regulation, and feral animals, which are just a few of the degrading influences that have shaped our landscape. The effects of these activities mentioned above will lead to more problems like soil erosion, soil fertility loss, biodiversity destructions, and soil and water contamination and pollution, which also affects the lives and livelihoods of many people. To address the above problems, this study aims to discuss and provide awareness about the importance of agroforestry to restore and conserve degraded landscapes. This study collects data from published papers in international journals that reported the importance of agroforestry to restore and conserve degraded landscapes in the world. Agroforestry technologies can be applied to rehabilitate or restore degraded landscapes from agriculture, soil erosion, deforestation, rangeland degradation, mining sites, and over-extraction at various scales. Agroforestry practices such as windbreaks, riparian forest buffers, alley cropping, silvopasture, and forest farming support for further regeneration of new plant species in a particular area. In the case of mining areas, we can restore the landscapes by planting leguminous or Fabaceae tree species in association with those metal-eating tree species. Application of biotechnology will also be necessary. Agroforestry has both productive and service functions, including fuel wood, fodder, timber, and medicinal products, which diversify the agroforestry system's outputs. Agroforestry systems also regulate environmental benefits, including carbon sequestration, soil fertility improvement, reducing soil erosion, water regimes for rural producers and urban consumers, providing pollinators and seed dispersed habitat, climate regulation, and biodrainage. Lastly, this study proved that planting high-value tree species in a degraded landscape could greatly influence biomass production in alley between tree rows, enhancing the ecosystem health and helping in bringing back soil fertility, which will also help restore the damaged landscapes. Agroforestry practices and farming systems also help to restore water quantity and quality in degraded landscape. is because the roots of the planted trees can absorb those unwanted elements from the soil surfaces that can cause water pollution. Instead, the planted trees help to maintain the quality of underground water, which is now safe for crops and livestock consumption. As to quantity of water, study suggests that we should have to promote planting the endemic tree species in a degraded landscape because they are only minimal to water absorption over those exotic tree species. Generally, this study suggests that the more we plant trees in the degraded landscape, the more we can conserve the quality and quantity of water resources in a particular area. Moreover, when the quality and quantity of water are available in the area, it can support the growth of the other vegetation present in the area. This study proves that intercropping of crops as an agroforestry practice for restoration of the degraded landscape encourages pollinator birds to visit and stay in the place. This scenario helps to promote the diversity of plant and animal species in an area. The more the birds will visit the tree plantation, the more we can expect the successful flower pollination, fertilization, and seed dispersal of both annual and perennial tree species planted in a degraded landscape. Visiting birds in an agroforestry plantation is the best mechanism to explain why more seedlings and wildlings are growing under the tree plantation, which is also why the degraded landscapes are successfully restored, as reported and observed not only in this study, but also in most studies that are published internationally. This study concluded that agroforestry is very helpful in restoring the degraded landscapes of the world. The benefits we should gain from using the agroforestry approach in fixing the degraded landscape include they are preventing soil erosion and flooding, recharging groundwater, supporting biodiversity by providing habitat and corridors between fragmented ecosystems. A diversity of agroforestry practices implemented in the right locations of a landscape and with the right management can benefit not only the farmers and the managers practicing them, but also other actors and their networks in the landscape. This study would like to suggest using a specific agroforestry approach to restoring our degraded landscapes, considering the usage and concern of the local communities. If now you have concerns about landscape degradation in your country and place, today is the right time for you to think about the appropriate agroforestry practice to apply the said landscape to restore, support, and bring back native biodiversity, soil fertility, and water quality. This time, I am open to answer your questions and concerns. Thank you so much. And this time, Madam, I am open to answer the questions of our audience.
Yeah, open the chat box if you have any questions, please. Open the chat box if you have any questions, please. We thank you to India says thank you to the Travis Lake, and I know you wanted to come to India. We wanted to invite you, but somehow your passport and everything you could not join us. So I really hope to see you soon because we'll be hosting another offline conference soon. And I really hope by that time one of you are ready to visit India.
Thank you, Madam.
Yes. There's a lot of appreciation, but no more questions. If any questions, you can write to us moving forward. So now it's time to formally thank our Day. Thank you so much, Organized Day, for such a wonderful pronunciation, for the liberation and being a foreign country and a foreign speaker. Even you have a wonderful speech, like your English pronunciation was very good. So I would like to thank you from everyone, from the organizers and from my side and from all the delegates who are here for such an amazing presentation. And I look forward to having you again with us in such a kind of programs. You are a message to us. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Madam. BPA.
We come to the end of the 5th day of ISTTP-4. I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to all the speakers who are very learned and knowledgeable scientists of their field and have spent their valuable time with us here in this program. I would like to tell all the speakers that we, the organizers and the participants, are very happy and delighted to be here with us, and I hope also having one of you. Tomorrow is the home assignment day, and home assignment will be circulated in the WhatsApp groups. And the last day to submit the home assignment is 10th November. I used to keep the last day as the home assignment day, but the request has come from the delegate some more time. So we are making it as a 10th November 2020. So I would request all the delegates that kindly do your home assignment and send it to emtoxicol@gmail.com. This is a very essential part by the UGC norms, and we will not be able to provide the certificates unless you do your home assignments and send it to us. So tomorrow there will be no signing and no Google Meet meetings, but there will be a home assignment. We will be meeting you on at sharp 11 on the last day, that is 7th November 2022. And after that, after the keynote speakers, there will be a relativity session. So I would request everyone to join us on the last day, which is the 7th day, that is 7th November 2022. The link will be shared on the WhatsApp group. And they encourage you to before also that there will be one feedback form for the whole 7 days. This also has come to us from all the participants that there should be one feedback form. So that can also be circulated in the chat box during the relativity session. So I will request all the participants who are with us for 5 days. They will join us and log in the relativity session and the last day. So with this, lady is here, and this is Dr. Mandishwara, and the Secretary of ISTTP-4. Also tell you that you are an amazing people, wonderful people, and just me, I enjoy so much with these conferences because you are here. My amazing speakers and delegates always give me that motivation to do better. And I hope you'll be joining my next time. Every time I do another. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful and a fantabulous day. Rest of the day ahead, and I'll see you day after tomorrow at 11 a.m. Indian Standard Time sharp. That is 7 November. Bye bye. Take care. Have a wonderful day.